God. Ask God.
Hi, Scott. My name is Jason from Indonesia. I've been following your amazing podcast for a while now, and just last November, I decided to, quit overanalyzing things and decided to take action. Thanks to you. Well, long story short, my product just went live 5 days ago, and I've sold over 160 units. I think that's a decent start, right? So just a quick story. I'm located halfway around the world, so when I'm sleeping at night, it's daytime in the US. So last night I went to bed around 11, and when I checked back on my sales at around 8 a.m. this morning, I've sold 60 units. I mean, wow, it literally makes you money when you sleep. So now I heard that Chinese New Year is coming up in February, and a lot of factories will close from 2 weeks to as long as a month. So I guess it's a pretty big holiday in China. And I think a lot of sellers who are running low on stock from the holiday will try to restock before the suppliers go on the holidays. But I also heard that January is when a lot of customers return products. So I'm wondering if you can give us your experience on how you manage your inventory during this time. Would you order stock for 3 months? I mean, is it wise to stock up that much? Sorry for the long voicemail. I just think I owe this to you and the TAS community. I really appreciate the amazing content you give to us. And I believe you'll be blessed 100 more by doing that. So I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. Thanks again, Scott. Cheers.
Hey, Jason, thank you so much for the question. And everyone that was listening to the beginning of this podcast where I said that I got goosebumps, this was one of those that gave me those goosebumps. And here's why. Jason says that he's been listening and he's been taking action, and he was able to launch a product that's doing 60 plus sales a day. And that's just amazing to me, right? So, he's been listening to the podcast. He's been connected to the Facebook community, the TAS community that is, and just from the resources that I provide for free has done this. And it's just amazing and awesome to be able to be a part of that. So Jason, thank you so much for allowing me to help you, but then also for you to share that with me, because there's a lot of people out there that are doing this, right? They're taking the podcast, they're just listeners, they're not out there telling me that they're listening or telling me what they're doing, but they're getting results, and that's fine. I'm not saying that I need the credit for it, but when you do get that, man, I'm just telling you, it feels really, really good. So Jason, I just want to say thank you once again. And I just really appreciate it. And like I said, when I listened to that, it did give me goosebumps because that's real stuff. That's real. And that's awesome. So to answer your question about inventory, which is a really big thing any time of the year, not even just necessarily here. Yes, we're talking about a 2 to a 3 week downtime, and then they have to start back up again. So you might as well say about 4 weeks is what you got to plan in this, in this holiday. So depending on when you're listening to this, they have a Chinese New Year every February, and from there they shut down for, I believe it's 14 days. I don't know exactly, but it's a couple of weeks. And then from there, when they get back up and running, they have to kind of get things back in order and get running properly. And they might have lost some people when they shut down to where they start back up. So they got to retrain and all of those things. So yes, you want to plan your inventory, whether it's a holiday or not, because you need to almost forecast out about 60 days. That's the best scenario. And the easiest way to do that is to manually just track your sales. You can look back as well and just do the past 30 days and then the past 60 days. And you can see, okay, I'm currently selling 20 units a day of this product. So that's for 30 days, I'm selling 600 units. I only have 1,000 left in stock. So I'm really only good for about a month and a half. Well, let's see. I've got Chinese New Year coming up or whatever. Maybe your manufacturer said that now they're running 30 days out. You need to plan for that. So I think everybody's situation is a little bit different. Yeah, you may want to be 3 months in stock, but for some people that's scary. And I get it. So, there's ways to slow down the amount of sales by raising the price and all that stuff, but that doesn't always work either. And you may run the risk of running out of stock. And you know what? That may happen. And if it does, it's not the end of the world. I know a lot of people that have run out of stock for 2, 3, even 4 weeks, and they're able to get their spot back once they get up and running again with the inventory. But I wouldn't let that hold me back. But to answer the question about inventory, you have to plan. You have to do your best to plan. But that doesn't mean overspend either. That doesn't mean buy 3-4 months supply because you're just in a panic that you think that you may sell out and you're going to go out of inventory. But you do want to plan it. You need to be in constant communications with your with your supplier, with your manufacturer, letting them tell you. Like, I know myself personally, like my manufacturer just told me, they go, Scott, if you place your order right now, okay, which is, let's say, beginning of February, if you go ahead and you place that now, we're not going to be able to ship your new items until mid-April, okay? So we're talking February, March, that's 2.5 months, right? So that's a long time, right? So what I've done is I've put in another order before the Chinese New Year, put my 30% down, and then from there, at least I'll be in queue. So this way here, I'll be the first one out as far as, in beginning of April, let's say, okay? Because typically it's a 30-day turnaround, 20 to 30-day turnaround when everything's running smooth. And then you got to figure about a week for shipping, about 3 to 4 days for me, but let's just say a week. So you're talking, that's about 5 weeks alone just there, right? And then if they're running behind, you got to add on time for that. So you do have to communicate with your supplier and your manufacturer. That's really important. And then also you need to understand how many, you need to know you need to know this about your business, as far as like how well something is selling. And then you also need to look at the trend, right? You may have come out of fourth quarter and maybe into the first quarter and things are going good. But then if you looked at the trend from last year, you can see that your market kind of dips in February, March. Well, you might be okay, So you kind of have to do a little bit of forecasting. There's never going to be an exact, measurement that you're going to be able to use, but you just need to calculate it out as best as possible. All right. So hopefully that's helped. Hopefully that's answered your question. And again, thank you so much, Jason, for sharing that with me. It means a lot and it'll make my day a little bit better today. And I'll have a little bit more bounce in my steps. So if you guys want to submit a question, head over to theamazingseller.com/ask, and you can do that. I want to also, again, remind you guys, if you're brand new and this is your first time to the show, I want to welcome you. I love hanging out with you guys. This is just awesome to be able to virtually connect like this. And that's why I love the Ask Scott sessions. But if you are brand new and you're just getting your feet wet and you don't understand the entire process, the entire business model, I would recommend attending one of my live free workshops. This is where I break it down for you in 5 phases: how to pick a market and a product, how to source it, how to do a pre-launch, how to do a launch, how to promote the product, and everything in between. We go over that on a workshop, and we go through every single thing. We also do live Q&A. So if you want to attend one of them, I would love to invite you to the next one, and you can register for the next one by heading over to theamazingseller.com/workshop, and you can register there for an upcoming workshop. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business. So definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there and some of it is really, really good. What I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business. And this way here, you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.